meditation held daily is a commitment to the sacramental nature of the temple of the body, mind, and spirit that is the self.
Is it possible to love all beings equally, to live in a world where love isn't possessive but shared freely? This is the world that Haton, an interdimensional being, knows and cherishes. Imagine a society where life isn't as we know it. A society where families aren't bound by marital contracts but are expansive, encompassing everyone as a part of a grand cosmic family. This is the reality for Haton. Love, in this existence, is not limited to one person or a tiny family unit, but it flows freely, touching everyone and everything in creation equally. The universe, according to Haton, was crafted with love, the purest form of love that doesn't bind or possess but allows freedom and growth. However, man, with his possessive instincts, has twisted this divine principle. But it wasn't the Creator who imposed this restriction. It was man. The Creator's design was, and always will be, about love and harmony. Haton's message echoes the teachings of great spiritual leaders. Love one another, a simple commandment yet profound in its implications. The path to harmony, peace, and growth is paved with love. Love for the Creator, love for each other, and love for everything in the creation. In Haton's world, life is far from drab. It's a celebration of freedom and abundance. A society where everyone is free, where no one tries to rule over others, where children express their individuality rather than the imposed expectations of parents. A society where everyone is ruled by no one but the Creator and the guiding principle is love. Haton's people aren't unique in their lifestyle. Many other planets live as they do, in love and harmony. However, there are worlds that still struggle to understand this universal truth. They are on their path, some progressing slower than others. According to Haton, the bountiful gifts of the Creator reveal themselves where love, peace, and harmony exist. It's an invitation to the people of Earth to embrace this understanding, to transform their thinking, and to move towards a world of peace, love, and harmony. Haton emphasizes the need for change. The Creator's creation was perfect, but man, through ages of wrong thinking, has clouded this perfection. The veil of evil has obscured the true creation. Haton's message is a plea for help, for self-realization. Only by seeing the divine in each other can we remove the cloak of imperfection. As Haton departs, he leaves us with a profound thought. Imagine a world where every fellow man is seen as the Creator, a world where imperfection vanishes and only love remains. This is Haton's world. This is Haton's message, a message of love, harmony, and the Creator, a beacon of hope in the vast cosmic sea, calling us all to a higher understanding of love and existence. As Haton would say, Adonai Vasu Boragus, until we meet again.
You can only help those people who ask you for help. That eliminates a large number of people. Thus, you must not worry when you cannot help people. Help is only appreciated if it is requested. Unwanted help is unnecessary help, and it will not help but only interfere. For all have a sovereign free will, and no matter what occurs in this physical illusion, there is an infinity of time for each entity to learn and understand the truth. Thus, abandon your desire to help everybody. We realize this is not a conscious desire, but it is a common subconscious desire due to the fact that those who seek to know the truth are also those who have a love for other beings with whom they share this planetary surface. There are a few whom you may help, and they will ask you for that help. There are many ways to help as there are requests. Some people may require a smile. Some may require food. There are endless ways to share the bounty and the love of the Creator. If you are able to offer seed of thoughts for the promotion of change from the individual who requested, then you have done the greatest help of all. For the greatest help is a spiritual help, and the spiritual help can only be truly accomplished you with generosity of food or speech. Whatever is needed, it will be asked for, and it will be a matter of your own understanding as to what you can do to fulfill the needs of those who ask. We ask you to remember, the Creator's supply of love, whether it be food, caring, thoughts, words, or deeds, is completely and totally infinite, so that if you are a channel for the love of the Creator, you do not have to worry about running out of steam or being unable to help in one way or another. You need only to work upon yourself so that you are a clear channel, unmoved by the ridiculousness of many situations, and in great humor when you find others' situation quite grim. For you see, you dwell in the midst of a great cosmic joke and a great cosmic tragedy, and the ability to see both polarities of this truth equally is a very helpful one in dealing with yourself. And when you have dealt with this polarity within yourself, laughing at your grief and solemn in your joy, you may be a balanced help to others. For you may not then be touched by their difficulties to the point where you will be unable to respond in the way the Creator within you would respond. There are many who make the mistake of caring without asking how to care for their higher self. Ask that, my brothers and sisters, and that will be a greater source of information than any arbitrary way of helping that we could give you. You know the one known as Jesus said, if you do these things to the least of these, my brother, you do them unto me. That is the secret. You and your brothers are one. You are the Creator, and he and she is the Creator. Your brothers and sisters, and you, and we, and the Creator are one being, the cells of which sometimes get themselves all mixed up. Let your cell of existence be calm, be joyful, and be one body of the creation.
Welcome to Law of One. I'm Robert. It's my pleasure to bring you the newest channeling from Love Light Research, February 24th, 2024. Quo, we have a question from the Law of One study group. I wonder if honest communication is present in Blu-ray, but not necessarily in green ray. The dropping of expectations, maybe? Is that what differentiates green from blue? I am Quo, and am aware of your query, my sister. We would respond by suggesting that the difference between the blue ray and the green ray is that the response in clear communication from the blue ray is that which is of the Creator, that has been experienced more fully and frequently within the blue ray, so that it might move not only to the area of clear communication with others and with the self, but might elevate into that which you would call the inspiration of more of the knowledge and experience of the Creator that lives within the entity that has activated the blue ray. In this ray, there is more, shall we say, leeway or span of experience and depth of experience and layers of experience of the Creator, and the way that the entity is able to live its life on a daily basis. Within the green ray, though the heart is open and expresses the love of the one Creator clearly and purely, The green ray entity has a difficulty in responding in such a way with those that would question its ability to respond clearly and with inspiration. The green ray entity that attempts to respond clearly to others runs into what you may call a difficulty when the others do not seem to perceive the clarity, the honesty, the purity of the response. Thus, the green ray energies of that heart chakra become somewhat muddled when challenged by those who do not feel the clarity of the green ray expression. This is in the daily round of activities where one with the green ray open attempts to share itself with the open heart, with its own perceptions of clarity. Thus, this type of expression finds a hurdle that one cannot clear, a challenge that one cannot meet. And yet this green ray energy is that which allows this entity to move forward into his or her own evolutionary path, into the fourth density of love and understanding, where the ability to communicate more clearly and inspirationally will be expanded upon as the heart opens ever wider to the creation about it and sees the Creator everywhere. The graduation is upon us, and those who have been able to open their hearts in unconditional love, a majority of the time will graduate and then become part of the social memory complex to planet Earth. Those who are unable to make this choice of service to others will then be required to find another third density planet to incarnate on once again. This is a process which many have a growing difficulty for realization, as more and more entities have to repeat the cycle again and again. Greetings, my sisters and brothers, in the love and in the light of our one infinite Creator. It's a pleasure to speak with you. We're recovering the archetypical mind. The primary veiling was of such significance that it may be seen to be analogous to the mantling of the earth over all the jewels within the earth's crust, whereas previously all facets of the Creator were consciously known. After the veiling, almost no facets of the Creator were known to the mind. Almost all was buried beneath the veil. If one were to attempt to list those functions of mind most significant, in that they might be of aid in polarization, one would need to begin with the facility of envisioning, or
far seeing. Without the veil, the mind was not caught in your illusionary time. With the veil, space-time is the only obvious possibility for experience. Also, upon the list of significant veiled functions of the mind would be that of dreaming. The so-called dreaming contains a great deal which, if made available to the conscious mind and used, shall aid it in polarization to a great extent. The third function of the mind, which is significant and which has been veiled, is that of knowing of the body. The knowledge of and control over the body, having been lost to a great extent in the veiling process, is thusly lost from the experience of the seeker. Its knowledge before the veiling is of small use. Its knowledge after the veiling, and in the face of what is now a dense illusion of separation of body complex from mind complex, is quite significant. Perhaps the most important and significant function that occurred due to the veiling of the mind from itself is not in itself a function of mind, but rather is a product of the potential created by this veiling. This is the facility of will, or pure desire. It is well said that archetypes are portions of the one infinite creator, or aspects of its face. It is, however, far better to realize that the archetypes, while constant in the complex of generative energies offered, do not give the same yield of these complexities to any two seekers. Each seeker will experience each archetype in the characteristics within the complex of the archetype which are most important to it. For example, of this would be the observation of the questioner that the fool is described in such and such a way. One great aspect of this archetype is the aspect of faith. Walking into space without regard for what is to come next. This is, of course, foolish, but is part of the characteristic of the spiritual neophyte. The archetypical mind may be defined as that mind which is peculiar to the logos of this planetary sphere. Thusly, unlike the great cosmic all-mind, it contains the material which it pleased the logos to offer as refinements to the great cosmic beingness. This archetypical mind, then, is that which contains all facets which may affect mind or experience. The magician was named as a significant archetype. However, it was not recognized that this portion of the archetypical mind represents not a portion of the deep subconscious, but the conscious mind, and more especially the will. The archetype called by some the high priestess, then, is the corresponding intuitive or subconscious facility. It is appropriate to study one form of constructed and organized distortion of the archetypical mind in order to arrive at the position of being able to become and to experience archetypes at will. You have three basic choices. You may choose astrology, the 12 signs, as you call these portions of your planetary's energy web, and what has been called the 10 planets. You may choose the tarot with its 22 so-called major arcana. You may choose to study of the so-called Tree of Life with its 10 Sephiroth and the 22 relationships between the stations. It is well to investigate each discipline not as a dilettante, but as one who seeks the touchstone, one who wishes to feel the pull of the magnet. One of these studies will be more attractive to the seeker. Let the seeker then investigate the archetypical mind using basically one of these three disciplines. After a period of study, the discipline mastered sufficiently, the seeker may then complete the more important step, that is, the moving beyond the written in order to express in a unique fashion its understanding, if you may again pardon the noun, of the archetypical mind.
I am Hayden. I greet you, my friends, in the love and the light of our infinite Creator. It is a very great privilege to be with you this evening. It is a very great privilege to be with you at all times, for you see, my friends, we are inseparable, for we are one. Yes, we are one. Just as you are one with all. Everything, as we have said many times, is but one thing, the creation or the Creator. Either is correct, for one is the other. This concept is the concept which the people of your planet must understand if they are to progress. It is unfortunate that this concept has not been communicated, in general, to most of the peoples of your planet. It is the lack of this concept that creates what they see as their present problems. A full understanding and application of this concept immediately eradicates all problems. This probably seems much too simple, but in truth, this is all that is necessary to be known. If you can greet each entity with whom you come in contact as you would greet yourself, if you could greet yourself and love that person as you should love yourself, then, my friends, all of what you call your problems would be non-existent. We of the Confederation of Planets, in the service of our infinite Creator, have said this many times, through channels such as this one, and through other mechanisms. It has been put in writing many ways, and been communicated in many forms, through classifications of philosophy that you term religion. Unfortunately, but few of the population of your planet have been able to understand this simple teaching. Some have understood it intellectually, and yet they have not understood, for they have been unable to apply this simple concept. The reason for the lack of ability to apply this simple concept, my friends, is primarily due to a lack of meditation. We have also many times talked to you of the necessity for meditation. To sum it up, my friends, the concept of unity brought to your total awareness through the process of meditation is all that is necessary for the growth of the peoples of your planet at this time. If you find yourself straying from this awareness, remind yourself to relax and seek the truth that we bring you through the process of meditation. Re-establish, shall we say, your point of view, and then look at your environment and your fellow beings in a different light, in the true light. The light that simply states that everything that exists is one thing. Understand that that which is annoying or foreign to you is caused only by a lack of understanding of this simple truth. Many of your peoples will not be able to make the transition, which is so close upon them that, as it has been said, they could reach out and touch it. They will require a longer period of learning. This is unfortunate, and yet, it is not as unfortunate as you might think, for it is their choice to experience the set of conditions that they will experience. My friends, you have a terrific opportunity. If you are able at this time to fully understand and then apply this simple truth of unity, if you are in every action, every word, every deed, able to reflect this understanding, then, my friends, you will have achieved what you set out to achieve. Consider this point well, my friends, for all that you experience in the physical will fade away and no longer be with you. All that you will transport through time and space to eternity is your thinking. Develop that, my friends, for that is the only thing you have of any value at all. Within yourselves, my friends, you have a simple understanding that all of the parts of your body make one entity. Without each member, the body would be maimed. It is in this fashion that you may grasp the concept of unity with your brothers and sisters of all dimensions and all densities, especially those who share your physical illusion at this time. You cannot be comfortable about choosing whom to accept as a brother or sister, for all beings are part of an organic whole. You cannot turn your back upon a member of an organic whole without pathetically reducing the efficiency of the whole. Then, if you meet those situations and circumstances in which you find yourself in any judgment or incapacity to feel unity, we ask that you hearken back to our words, for if you can vibrate upon the original thought, our friends, that is a good thing. If you can send the same vibration to those with whom you are disaffected, you will have done a far harder thing and a thing which you will receive back 1,000-fold. For many times, those beings who are inharmonious are just so because they expect the reception which they receive, and so become even more offensive in defense. Look upon those people, my friends, as one being, and you stop a great wheel that is grinding down an entity whose soul is in pain. You stop a wheel and free a soul to be a perfect part of a perfect creation, that, in truth, all of we are. We have been talking this evening, my friends, about the realization that each of your people must make if they are to make the transition into the new age that is to come. We have been speaking about the necessity for each person to turn inward and seek for the Creator, to seek for love within, my friends. So many of your people seek, in the world around them, for meaning. They look to friends. They look to their everyday jobs. They look to what your society offers as models of excellence. They look to the material world that surrounds them in such seeming abundance of wealth. They look outside, and materials that they surround themselves with, and seek for answers to fill up their whole being with meaning. We watch this process of running to and fro, like worried ants, hoping to find a morsel of meaning dropped somewhere on the ground, so that they might quench their thirst and hunger for one more meal. Then to be hungry again. It grieves us to see such futility. We have hoped through many means to be able to be of service to your people, and to help your people awaken that spark of the Creator that resides within. We send our love to each of your people, hoping that when a person feels the vibration of love within, that this feeling would be a clue as to the direction of their search. We have attempted through instruments such as are here this evening, and meditations such as this one, to share our philosophy of love with as many of your people as would listen. We always hope that meditations such as this will become a common occurrence upon your planet in the days that lie ahead for your people. But the time is short, my friends. It is necessary for us to ask those of your people who have heard our message to rekindle their efforts to awaken their fellow beings to the truth of the unity of all creation. We can only do so much, and then must pass the effort and the flame of truth on to others, such as yourselves, and hope that you will pass it still further, that the spark of the divine creator within each of your people might be rekindled. We ask each of you to consider these words, and to consider your response as you go your way, each in your own way, and meet your fellow creatures in your everyday life. Remember, my friends, that when you meet another, you meet yourself. That when you meet another, you meet the Creator. Be in awe of this truth. For then, you shall be open to further discovery of the truth of the oneness of all creation. We have said this many times through instruments such as this to many people. We hope that our words have made an impression upon your being, for we seek to serve and to awaken within each of your people the truth of love. I am Hayden. If you will be patient, I am deepening this instrument's contact. I am Hayden. I will turn to this instrument to inquire if we may answer any questions at this time. We are aware that there is a question that is unspoken, that this instrument is not fond of dealing with the answers to unspoken questions. We, therefore, would have a difficult time speaking through this instrument. May we say that we did work with this instrument in order to speak on an unanswered question, and if she will open herself to us, we will say a few words. We give to this instrument a concept of a very deep and very vast sky. It is not the sky that is seen from the surface of the planet. It is that which is seen from deep space, and those magic spaces between the galaxies where the dimensions merge. We wish the asker of the question to place himself in that area, and to feel the ecstasy of touching the infinity of dimensions and creations that spread out like a rainbow from that point. The Creator's universe is a beautiful thing. In your microcosmic, planetary world, you see a tiny part of it, and much of what you see has been mishandled by your peoples. This does not mean, my friends, that the Creator has in some way become tarnished. There are those things which endure, and it is those things in which you may rest as a bird floating upon the wind, or a sea creature resting at the ocean's bottom, touching an infinity of beauty that is all one tapestry of light. Please know, my friends, that this being of infinite light connects you with all that there is, not upon this plane, but upon a finer one. The knowledge of this oneness cannot get you through the illusion if you attempt to apply it consciously. The magic of creation can only be expressed spontaneously. Therefore, we ask you to lift your consciousness to deep space and look back on the microscopic in a minor galaxy which is called Earth. I would, at this time, transfer this contact. I am Hayden. I am again with this instrument. I am Hayden. Because we are aware of the nature of the question that this instrument wishes to ask, we would leave this instrument so that our brother, Ladwiai, may speak. I leave you, my friends, in love and light. It has been an enormous privilege to be with you. Adonai, my friends.
Understand, my beloved friends, it becomes a quite difficulty for us to convey to you in words of your language a complete understanding of what we are attempting to convey to you. We do not particularly like the expression of higher realms, for we do not feel that we are above you. It is merely that on some things, let us say, we have a little better understanding. Therefore, we are anxious to help those of you who are seeking higher understanding. This we try to do in many ways. We are limited in help that we can give you by universal law. We dare not and will not invade your own free will, but we are anxious that each of you grow as rapidly as is possible according to your pattern. For each of you do have a pattern of growth that is to be followed by you. Often individuals are behind schedule, so to speak, and we attempt to help them in every way possible. You see, Earthman is often misled by his race consciousness. He knows deep within that this or that is what he should be doing, but he does not conform because of what seems to the individual would cause criticism or perhaps disruptions in certain customs. In other words, this is not the way it is being done, therefore I must conform to the customs. People of Earth have long been victims of customs. These have become a part of the race consciousness of Earth people. Many of those customs must be broken. Evolvement of individuals depends greatly upon the determination and the desires of each individual. Man must learn to know that the greatest evolvement will come as you, as an individual, learns to use the universal laws. Man is first obligated to himself. There is nothing that is more important to each of us than our own individual development. For in order to serve and to benefit those about us, we must first be able to radiate the love and understanding that goes with evolvement. Each, as he becomes conscious of his own being, realizes his oneness with all creation. Realize that you are a part of this one great power, each of us a tiny, minute part, yet each of us expressing as an individual, yet a part of the whole. This, beloved ones, is quite difficult to bring to you in your present level of understanding. Parts and counterparts, division upon division, have each a small yet important part of the whole. But I must repeat that at the level that Earth people stand by, the first step is love. To try to see the perfection of creation in everything that we see. This at times may seem impossible, yet as we practice going within and bringing ourselves into a oneness with that higher part of us, with that higher consciousness, we begin to get more and more of this feeling of a oneness in this great silence. As we become more and more familiar with this, we begin to take on the realization of how and why there is but one expression. Truly, truly, beloved ones, ye are all gods and goddesses. It is only a matter of time. Let each of us start right where we are, from this day forward, with what we have at hand. We shall begin our work, and upon this, and let us build. Let us meet every situation with love and understanding. Let us know that nothing is by chance, that each experience that comes our way, regardless of how minute or grand an experience may seem, which is brought to us, whereby we may learn. For we learn only by experience, no other way. Experience, beloved ones, is our only teacher. I could talk to you for hours, attempting to explain how to accomplish a certain feat, but until you have experienced it and accomplished it yourself, you do not know. You only know what I have told you. Unless you have experienced it, you don't have an understanding. So let us be thankful and grateful for every lesson in each experience, for no one present experience will repeat itself if we have learned from it. So you see, beloved ones, we really have no choice but to take what we have at hand and mold it from that which we would like to be. We have created what we have. Therefore, if we wish higher understanding, we must start by creating it. For all of us are creators, and we create that which we desire most. Every thought that we send out is creative. It creates and returns. So you see, what we think is most important. Let us think in high and positive terms, visualizing always the highest, building our light through love and understanding. Day by day, it becomes brighter, and radiance of our being begins to attract, and we find ourselves in the midst of great joy, great peace, great understanding, and we find attracted to us those who are seeking the understanding that we can give them. It is amazing how the radiance of one's light attracts and how far this attraction sometimes reaches. I'm sure that all of you here have experienced this to a degree. Let not your heart be troubled. You seek to know this truth, and it shall be known unto you. Your purpose is high. Your efforts are strong. Sometimes one becomes impatient, but to all of those who sincerely seek and who patiently trod the path, all things shall come in due time. Now, my friends, I am told that I have stayed my time with this instrument, so I must leave you. My love and my blessings I leave with each of you. Peace be with you, beloved ones. Peace be with you now.
I am Latvia, and I'm aware of your request, my brother. To this regard, may we say that it is correct to assume that the young child, as you call it, will in its younger years tend to reflect those behaviors, thoughts, and patterns of its family and friends. But after a certain period of experience has been gained, and the young entity has begun to feel its own individual sense of being, then there shall begin to be those expressions of the young entity which the entity is incarnated for the purpose of expressing. It is to be noted in this regard that at this time there are many factors which govern the process and pattern of incarnations for entities upon your plane. As you know, this is the time of the harvest. Those entities having the greatest opportunity and potential for polarizing, shall we say, sufficiently, their unconscious beings may through catalyst experienced in an incarnation achieve that which is known as the graduation. Never before have so, shall we say, pure a group of entities been incarnate upon your plane. Which means that there shall be the individual expression of beingness in great variety, and the illusion which you inhabit shall more fully provide the catalyst which these beings need in order to learn the lessons that will allow for each in graduation, and be harvested into fourth density, that of love and understanding.
In the vast expanse of the cosmos, what is reality? Is it tangible, perceivable, or simply an illusion? A captivating query to ponder upon as we delve into the profound wisdom of Haton, a voice from the distant stars, echoing through the ether to shed light on our existence. Imagine, if you will, a being named Haton, an entity beyond our earthly realm, monitoring our thoughts from a craft far above our dwelling place. An unsettling thought? Fear not, for Haton assures that this knowledge of our thoughts, our innermost musings, is not an infringement of our privacy, but rather a reflection of unity. The unity that sees these thoughts as their own, as the thoughts of the Creator. In our human understanding, we may perceive thoughts of hate, anger, or jealousy as separate from the Creator. But according to Haton, this is a fallacy. All thoughts, all things are generated by the Creator. The Creator is omnipresent, permeating every aspect of existence, every thought, every consciousness. This infinite entity, composed of countless parts, has granted each part free will to generate their own reality. However, Haton and his kind are on a mission, not to alter the thoughts of the Creator, but to present his ideas to the isolated parts of his creation. Isolated, because they have chosen to wander far from the universal concept of unity that Haton has encountered in the vast expanse of creation. Haton's message is a call to humanity, a plea to remember the wisdom brought to us. In the face of adversity, when the illusion of our physical existence seems overwhelming, we're encouraged to remember what we've learned. The choice is ours to shift our desires from the physical illusion to the creation of the Creator. As long as we're bound by the physical illusion, we remain subject to its laws. But if we apply what we've learned and elevate our desires to align with the creation of the Infinite One, we might find ourselves capable of transcending the confines of the illusion. Haton's wisdom is a beacon, guiding us towards a greater understanding of our existence, our relationship with the Creator, and our place within the illusion of reality. It is a reminder of the unity that binds us all, the common thread of the Creator that runs through each of us. It is a call to elevate our desires, to transcend the illusion, and to embrace the love and brotherhood inherent in the original thought. It's a journey towards unity, towards love, towards the Creator. A journey that begins with a single thought.
Greetings, my friends, in the love and light of our infinite Creator. I am Hayden, and, as always, it is a great privilege to address this group. I greet each of you, and especially those who are new to our group, and extend to you our love and our thoughts and our gratitude for the chance to be with you. We of the Confederation of Planets in the service of the Infinite Creator are about your planet in numerous crafts, and we come from many, many different places within your universe. And yet we are here for one purpose and one purpose only. We are here, my friends, as a single voice of love. Love, my friends, is the word which created all that there is. What vibration is to the physical world, love is to the consciousness that created the physical world. Love is all that there is, and all that you see about you, day by day, are manifestations of love. My friends, it may seem to you often that you are not looking at the manifestations of love when you look at your relationship with someone with whom you are having difficulty, when your nation looks at other nations with whom it is having difficulty. And yet, we offer to you the precise analogy of vibration in your physical world. It is well known to your scientists that all things are made up of vibration and energy centers. Yet to you, the manifestations of vibration seem many and varied, tables and buildings and trees and human bodies. Yet all of these, my friends, are one thing, energy in motion. And so it is with love. Each feeling, whether it be emotional, mental, or spiritual, each thought that you have is a feeling or thought that was originally purely of love. Yet man, as well as the Creator, is a creator, and man has invented many complexities which take love and cause it to form many and various shapes. In your holy works, it has been written that the way to defeat evil is to meet it with love. This is true, my friends, because the original vibration of love is always stronger than its derivative, man-made forms. To realize that all that you see is love is to find peace. No longer need you feel anger and distress, resentment and irritation. These are derivatives of love which can be replaced in your thinking by a consciousness of the basic true love, the all-loving, all-serving, all-creative emotion that surrounds and inspires each of you. And how can you find this fountainhead of love, my friends? As always, we recommend meditation. For clever as man's minds are, they are often too clever, and in their cleverness men have devised many strange contortions of love. And in meditation, my friends, as you lay down these man-made concepts and open yourselves to your deeper identity, the basic reality of the love that created you can make contact with you in your conscious mind. And as you come in contact with love as it really is, you gain strength to be able to look the world of man-made emotions in the face and say, but I know a deeper and truer way to express love. If you touch base with this creative love on a regular basis, little by little your being will begin to transmit that love, and you will become what you seek to become, an instrument for the love of the Creator. You are in the world, as it has been said, but you are not of the world. You are a divine being, dwelling within the body of the so-called human. And this human will have a very short life, and yet the divine being that is your true higher self will exist eternally. Seek to unify your consciousness as a human with your higher identity as a portion of the divinity of the Creator through meditation. It has been an extremely great honor to share with you in your meditation, my friends. I leave you now. I am Hayden. I leave you in the love and light of our infinite Creator. Adonai Vasu Baragas.
Peace be with each of you, my beloved friends. With your permission, I will speak with you for a few moments. Man. What is this thing called man, who was given dominion over all things by his Creator? How could you define this thing called man? In your existence or your plane of existence, we see man in a physical, chemical body, so to speak. He functions through this chemical body, controlling it and its actions through what you call a brain. But here upon another plane of existence, we find man functioning much differently. Here, he functions in what, to use your terms, you call an astral shell. Here he moves, he thinks, he carries on a life much as you do upon your plane, yet he does not function with the chemical body, nor does he control or manipulate his astral shell through his brain as you do. He finds life is much different in some respects. He finds that thought is much more effective upon this plane. He finds that he brings into being that which he desires by merely creating a thought, and prompting his thought comes into being for him. He builds his own surroundings with very little effort on his part, and these surroundings and actions will depend entirely upon his ability to think. Here, he is also limited in many ways, for he finds himself among the physical beings, for he has been lost. Now, here in your physical plane, man is also limited in many ways, for he finds himself among the physical beings, for he has been lost so long in his physical existence through desires that were created within him many eons back in time. He finds this desire, which he has continually pushing him, so to speak, to express in the physical or chemical, and oftentimes not realizing exactly where he is. He does not take advantage of the situation that he finds himself in at that time, but rather tries to pull himself back into the physical chemical plane of existence before his time, Oftentimes, this becomes quite confusing to the unenlightened ones, then causes much unhappiness to the individual, and oftentimes, through lack of understanding, much harm and much inconvenience and suffering is brought to some of those in the physical chemical plane of existence. What is man? Just what does he consist of? For as we move farther out, we find other planes of existence, other levels of life. As we pause here, we find beings of greater understanding. We find beings with greater knowledge of the universe and its functions. We find that these individuals also function in a world of thought, but they have a higher knowledge of the use of this power. They also have greater knowledge of many other powers. They have an understanding of matter to a greater degree. We find that these beings are able, through their power of thought, to control and manipulate this matter. They are able to change it to different forms, to bring into being that which they desire, and to mold it into whatever suits their purpose at the time. They are able to transport themselves from place to place without the aid of a vehicle if they so desire. Yet, if they desire a vehicle in which to travel, this can also be created by thoughts and the manipulation of matter. Also, we find that many of these can bring themselves into your plane of existence and create for themselves a chemical body to be used temporarily as they move among you, and then again to be returned to the nothingness from which it came. What is man? How do we define this man? Shall we go higher? Shall we move from this realm where man lives in a world of thought? Yet he lives a life somewhat as yours in that he lives with his fellow man. They work together. They have their homes and their families, but yet so different. As we move on, we find ourselves surrounded by beings of such great intelligence, of such great light, that our understanding of them is not. We see nothing but light. These beings have such great knowledge and control of matter, of intelligence, of consciousness, that it is beyond our understanding. They have such great knowledge of the universe. They know its functions. They know of its creation. They understand consciousness. They are able to divide and subdivide their consciousness, sending it out into many spheres and many planes, and they're expressing, helping to raise the consciousness of these beings on other planes, that they too might someday move into their plane of consciousness. These beings, I can only state, are pure consciousness, are light. You ask, is this the ultimate in man? And I must answer, I do not believe so. For I understand that man reaches even far beyond this. So, beloved friends, how would you define man? I have no definition for man. For man, shall we say, is inconceivable. At my level of understanding, I believe I would have to state it so. But Man has all of these potentialities, and man, sooner or later, shall return to the higher states of consciousness from whence man came. We are gradually climbing step by step. As time is never ending, so is our climb to the ultimate. Peace be with you, my friends. Peace be with you. This tuned telepathic channeling was originally published as The Law of One. It is offered in the hope that it may be useful to you, as the Confederation entities always make a point of saying, please use your discrimination and judgment in assessing this material. If something rings true to you, fine. If something does not resonate, please leave it behind, for neither we nor those of the Confederation would wish to be a stumbling block for any. I am Ra. I have not spoken through this instrument before. We had to wait until she was precisely tuned, as we send a narrow band vibration. We greet you in the love and in the light of our infinite Creator. We have watched your group. We have been called to your group, for you have a need for the diversity of experiences in channeling which go with a more intensive, or as you might call it, advanced approach to the system of studying the patterns of the illusion of your body, your mind, and your spirit, which you call seeking the truth. We hope to offer you a somewhat different slant upon the information, which is always and ever the same. The Confederation of Planets in the service of the Infinite Creator has only one important statement. That statement, my friends, as you know, is all things, all of life, all of the creation is part of one original thought. We will exercise each channel if we are able to. The reception of our beam is a somewhat more advanced feat than some of the more broad vibration channels opened by other members for more introductory and intermediate work. Let us, for a moment, consider thought. What is it, my friends, to take thought? Took you then thought today? What thoughts did you think today? What thoughts were part of the original thought today? In how many of your thoughts did the creation abide? Was love contained? And was service freely given? You are not part
part of a material universe. You are part of a thought. You are dancing in a ballroom in which there is no material. You are dancing thoughts. You move your body, your mind, and your spirit in somewhat eccentric patterns, for you have not completely grasped the concept that you are part of the original thought. I am Ra. We greet you in the love and the light of our infinite Creator. We ask that you be patient with us, for we are a difficult channel to receive. However, we may perhaps add some dimensions to your understanding. You may ask, what is our purpose? We have our place. We are not those of the love density or the light density. We are those who are of the law of one. In our vibration, the polarities are harmonized, the complexities are simplified, and the paradoxes have their solution. We are one. That is our nature and our purpose. We are old upon your planet and have served with varying degrees of success in transmitting the law of one, of unity, of singleness to your peoples. We have walked your earth. We have seen the faces of your peoples. This is not so with many of the entities of the Confederation. We found it was not efficacious. However, we then felt the great responsibility of staying in the capacity of removing the distortions and powers that had been given to the law of one. We will continue in this until your, shall we say, cycle is appropriately ended. If not this one, then the next. We are not a part of time, and thus are able to be with you in any of your times. I am Ra. The identity of the vibration Ra is our identity. We as a group, or what you would call a social memory complex, made contact with a race of your planetary kind, which you call Egyptians. Others from our density made contact at the same time in South America and the so-called lost cities, where their attempts to contribute to the law of one. We spoke to one who heard and understood and was in a position to decree the law of one. However, the priests and peoples of that era quickly distorted our message.
robbing it of the, shall we say, compassion with which unity is informed by its very nature. Since it contains all, it cannot abhor any. When we were no longer able to have appropriate channels through which to enunciate the law of one, we removed ourselves from the now hypocritical position which we had allowed ourselves to be placed in. In other myths, shall we say, other understandings, having more to do with polarity and the things of your vibrational complex, again took over in that particular society complex. Consider, if you will, that the universe is infinite. This has yet to be proven or disproven. But we can assure you that there is no end to yourselves, your understanding, and what you would call your journey of seeking, or your perceptions of the creation. That which is infinite cannot be many, for manyness is a finite concept. To have infinity, you must identify or define that infinity as unity. Otherwise, the term does not have any referent or meaning. In an infinite creator, there is only unity. You have seen simple examples of unity. You have seen the prism, which shows all colors stemming from the sunlight. This is a simplistic example of unity. In truth, there is no right or wrong. There is no polarity, for all will be, as you would say, reconciled at some point in your dance through the mind-body-spirit complex, which you amuse yourself by distorting in various ways at this time. This distortion is not in any case necessary. It is chosen by each of you as an alternative to understanding the complete unity of thought which binds all things. We are not speaking of similar or somewhat like entities or things. You are everything, every being, every emotion, every event, every situation. You are unity. You are infinity. You are love, light, light, love.
leave you in the glory and peace of unity. Go forth in peace, rejoicing in the power of the one Creator. I am Ra. Monday Meditation, August 21st, 1978. I am at present in what you call a spacecraft, and yet, my friends, it is not a spacecraft. For you, space is a medium which surrounds your planet farther than you could ever imagine. You see us as peoples who come to you from far distant places, unreachable and unapproachable in this vast universe. This is true, my friends. And yet, it is not true. Those far distant places are within you. This is the paradox, my friends. The great paradox of understanding, which is not yet apparent to those who dwell upon your surface, is that all that exists in this vast universe exists in one place, in one time. Each of us, my friends, is in all places and in one place. And yet we appear to be limited, stunted, unable to move about in the vastness where all is created. My friends, this is not at all the circumstance which we experience. It is all but an illusion. In truth, you and I are all things, for all things are also you, my friend. We are all part of this vast creation, and this vast creation is all part of us. At the present, you apparently are limited, but this is of your own choosing. You've chosen these limitations for a purpose that has taken you through many experiences. You're here to learn, enabling you to find your way towards that which you desire. If you did not desire, my friends, you would not be here. We are here to help you with your desire. In truth, this is our only mission. Desire calls us. Were it not for your desire, we could not come. Were it not for your desire, we could not speak to you this evening. Desire what you call enlightenment. Desire what you call awareness. Desire like you are the evolution of spirit. My friends, these are one in the same. Desire, like you, is the evolution of spirit. My friends, these are one in the same thing. We come to point to you the single path that leads towards that which you desire. The single path is simple, my friends. The way to it, my friends, can only be discovered through meditation. The way to God, and by whatever name you call it, the way to the Creator can only be discovered through meditation, and by whatever name you call it, resolves itself to one simple principle. total and absolute unity and the dissolution of self. The way to God, or the one creator, can only be discovered through meditation and, by whatever name you call it, resolves itself to one simple principle: total and absolute unity and the dissolution of self. For how is this accomplished, my friend? How is this accomplished? Painstakingly, through many experiences. This is one way, and yet this accomplishment may occur through time, be learned through time, and completed and complete in total resolution. It depends, my friends, upon your desire, and your desire, my friends, depends upon your meditation. For your true desires, by the awareness that is generated through your meditation, and this will lead you to that which all of you ultimately seek. Only that desire, my friends, to spend time in meditation, and the desire will grow. This growth will lead you on each step of the way on the glorious plan in reunion. Reunion with your soul. For as this reunion takes place, you will recognize yourself for yourself. For as this reunion takes place, you will recognize yourself for yourself, my friend, is all of us. The opportunity is available. The ground crew is becoming in place. The necessary human quota can be reached. All possible support for this project is being offered to guarantee its success. Now understand, although this message may appear to be focused towards requiring apparent superhuman accomplishment, know this: just as few ever bring forth the potential of the physical body, so also few explore the capabilities of the mental focus. The human becoming has been the potential for expression in its physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects. It has been the tendency of humans to pursue one or two of these aspects at a time. It is possible to accomplish a balanced development of all four within one lifetime. In this way, each aspect supports the other within a balance that provides for a harmonious experience. This begins with a growing understanding and application of the universal laws, along with recognizing the various opportunities to insert variations of the statement, "I am a human becoming. Help me to become." Inserting this statement into every applicable situation allows for experiencing the use of the mental focus to bring about a shift in the energies of the situation. This experience of the power of mental focus and the result of its focused use will allow each to experience knowledge into wisdom through actual self-empowerment. The use of this simple statement
demonstrates a self-awareness taking charge of itself. Through changing the perspective within the self-awareness. In turn, its perspective of the situation changes in the moment that it is happening. When the situation is perceived in a different way, it is changed. Each situation is as it is perceived. What appears as a single situation is as all participating perceive it, and is in reality multiple situations happening in a simultaneous moment. The concept of time is in reality a no thing. It is an invention of the mind or ego recorder, so that the events of experience can be perceived, analyzed, and recorded, inasmuch as the energy vibrates at such a slow rate at the third dimensional level. This process is at such a slow rate that it appears to be in sequential order, so that the chaos is not experienced within the recording process. It is necessary that this be understood so that the concept of the new paradigm coming into existence when it is perceived is understood. When a significant number of mental focus desire to create this experience for themselves, it begins its manifestation process within the flow of creational thought energy. It literally already exists. It is just that the energy flow is so slow that it is not perceived or brought into the experience at the third dimensional level until the sum of vibratory oscillations reach the total necessary to manifest into realized experience. As each understands the density of Earth's surrounding space and the slow rate of the humans experiencing in that space, it is possible to grasp the understanding of why it appears to be a time-oriented process. In excessively simple terms, the thought process travels outward into the aqueous, liquid-like energy of the creational flow at a much more rapid pace than it returns as manifest reality. The focused thought process, when fueled by emotional, moves quickly through the creational energy. As it leaves the dense field of energy, becomes finer or vibrates more rapidly. It is the return trip, so to speak, in the manifestation process that slows in its oscillation rate. The law of attraction magnetizes the object of the focused thought that was sent out into the creational field of energy, and it is returned to the point of origin. When the point of origin is vibrating at a slower rate, it appears within the sequential time orientation to manifest very slowly. If during this sequential experience the focus is withdrawn or sufficiently weakened, the magnetic attraction process is aborted. It is within this understanding that the concept of how the birthing of the new paradigm is extremely possible can be understood in rudimentary terms. It can also be understood that once the planners of the next dark age of mankind know this plan and see it happening, the onslaught to stop it will be intense. It will require dedicated individuals and small rotating support groups to keep the necessary focus intact in order to bring the manifestation into being. There will be no success if the focus becomes resistance. Allowance, difficult as it will be, must be practiced, and the focus held knowing the new paradigm exists in the moment, not somewhere in the distant future. To know that without having it yet in the current experience will require sincere dedication. Experiencing this truth into wisdom will gift the humans who are able to do it into becoming at a vibratory rate unknown in the annals of evolving awareness. through the support of the changing of the cycles and those benevolent awareness points that not only know and understand the situation, but also offer all possible support, this project is guaranteed. If the necessary human quota can be reached. The ground crew is in place, and the opportunity is certainly available.
Ever pondered the intricate dance of karma and forgiveness? Like two ancient cosmic forces, they intertwine in the grand ballet of life, constantly seeking balance. But what is karma really? Is it a tally of good and bad deeds, a spiritual scorecard? Or could it be something more profound? An impersonal force that binds us to the consequences of our actions and offers opportunities for balance, amends, and forgiveness. Consider this. Every action we take, particularly those steeped in negativity, can generate suffering. This suffering imbalances the self, creating ripples through our relationships and our journey through life. This is karma, the unstoppable force in the universe, always seeking balance. Picture karma as a wheel, spinning indefinitely, constantly evolving and reappearing in new forms. It's an endless cycle, a pattern in motion, always returning like a boomerang. But how do we break free from this cycle? The key, it appears, lies in forgiveness. But what exactly is forgiveness? It's not just about saying, "I forgive you." It's about releasing mental distortions and the burden of carrying these distortions. It's about understanding, compassion, and recognizing the divine in ourselves and others. Forgiveness is about bringing the issue to the heart, accepting it, loving it, and healing it. The process of forgiveness is simple yet profound. It's about letting go, understanding, and recognizing the divine in everything. When we forgive, we release the heavy load we've been carrying, often through understanding how a situation came to be. Yet the heart of forgiveness lies in faith. It's about trusting that everyone has their reasons for their actions, even if these reasons remain unknown to us. We don't have to know everything to forgive. In fact, the more we accept our limitations in understanding, the more readily we can forgive. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning behavior. We can disagree with someone's actions and still understand why they made those choices. And with this understanding comes compassion, a compassion we can apply to similar situations, including those involving ourselves. When we lift these distortions, we no longer need the difficulties that catalyzed our growth. The problems stop repeating, and we become more balanced. In essence, we stop the wheel of karma for that particular pattern. True forgiveness is unconditional. It's about giving love for whatever has been given to us. It's about removing conditions, accepting free will, and giving freely. If we can wipe the slate clean within our hearts and minds, we have truly forgiven. To summarize, karma and forgiveness are intertwined cosmic forces constantly seeking balance. Karma is an impersonal force that binds us to the consequences of our actions. Forgiveness, on the other hand, is about releasing mental distortions, understanding, and recognizing the divine in everything. The process of forgiveness is simple, yet profound, and it's the key to stopping the wheel of karma.
Love cannot be seen by those who are not willing to open and call upon the consciousness of love. Thus, there is always the leap, shall we say, of faith, that in the illusion one cannot deny there is love We may talk about the terrible distortions of love. We may drag the name of love through the dirt of every battle and war that has ever been fought. We may deprive love of every satisfaction that has ever been given by poet or musician, yet there is not one honest spirit that can deny the powerful effect of love within the life experience.
Greetings in the love and light of our infinite Creator. It is always a desire to have a student who wishes to learn, rather than a student who wishes to leave the classroom and go about other business. Unfortunately, my friends, the classroom upon your planet is your entire life, so that you cannot play hooky. You can only experience the gradations of feelings that you call emotions and states of happiness and sadness that are part of the catalyst of experience, which bring about thought and a greater understanding of the process which you as a soul are growing and evolving. There is always one important point that we wish to make to those who meditate and truly seek the way of the pilgrim. That point may perhaps be illustrated rather than explained. Let us say, my friends, that you all have known an explorer, a treasure hunter, whose desire in life was to seek out the greatest and the best treasure of all time. Your friend sought out old maps and read old stories and talked to many archaeologists and experts, seeking a good trail to the best treasure of all time, a treasure that was priceless, a treasure that would be his. Because all desires become reality, this young man found an old man who knew of the greatest treasure. But, he said, this great treasure is guarded by a vicious dragon, and you must go down into dark caves to find this treasure. If you can get past the dragon, you will have the only priceless treasure upon your planet. So, my friends, our explorer sold all that he had and set out to find the cave. And after traveling in every conceivable hardship, he reached a part of a great wilderness in which he found the deep, dark grotto in which the treasure lay. Bravely, he proceeded, tracking down many meaningless dead ends, retracing his steps, moving in the dark but with a remarkable tenacity of purpose. Finally, he heard the hiss of the dragon and saw it, as it glowed an unearthly green in the great vault where the dragon had its nest, and there was a great battle. Finally, the explorer had slain the dragon, and the beast had poured its life fluids upon the damp, dark stone of the cave's floor. There was no more hissing, and the explorer could move onward. Onward he moved in total darkness again, now that the dragon light had been extinguished, and came he then to the treasure chamber. Upon a pedestal stood a beautiful filigree box, locked with an intricate lock. He felt of it in the darkness, and knew that it was the treasure, or it contained the treasure, he knew not which. Painfully, slowly, he retraced his steps until he came again unto the light of day. He was starved, for he had not eaten since he entered the grotto. The light blinded him, but days passed and he recovered. He set about to try the lock, with the infinite patience of those who truly desire the priceless. He tried every combination until he found how to open that lock, and lo, he opened the box. In the box lay a brown leather book, or so it seemed. He picked up the book and opened it and saw his own face. For the insides of the book, my friends, was a mirror. We ask that you think of this story as you proceed upon your path. Spiritual friends and guides have a function in your life. They may tell you where to find the cave, and they may warn you of the dragon. They may assure you that there is a treasure, but once you have found the treasure, what have you found? You, my friends, are the treasure, the one priceless treasure of the universe. For you are life, and this pricelessness you share with all who have life and consciousness. If you look at yourself in the mirror, you may see many surface faults in your appearance. But if you look in your inward mirror, what do you see? Deeply buried is treasure that lies within you. How much love, how much patience do you need to uncover yourself to yourself, for yourself, and for the world in which you live? We ask you to trust not any outer garment of word, idea, thought, fact, message, dream, or action, but to go instead into meditation. Leave all of these things as if you were cleansed of them. If you make a habit of this, you will find the treasure that you seek, the knowledge that you seek. The more that you know, the less you will be able to speak. Until finally, you will become one who shows people the map and warns people of the dragon, and assures them of the treasure. That is the path upon your particular sphere at this time. May we ask anyone in this room what you perceive the treasure as being?
Man and angel.
The blending of those two answers, my friend, is the amen of existence. We thank you for allowing us to tell our poor tale to you, and will leave this instrument momentarily in order that our brother Lados may pass among you. I am Latwiai.
Imagine for a moment, is this physical body we inhabit truly of paramount importance? Does the fear of losing it, the fear of death, hold any real weight? Consider it this way: our bodies are mere vehicles, ones that, like any machine, eventually wear out. And when they do, would it not be possible to simply acquire another? To understand this, let us delve into a tale as old as time itself, the concept of reincarnation and the cycle of life and death. Picture the concept of reincarnation as a natural law, one that keeps the balance of life and ensures the continuity of our existence. When a life ends, what we perceive as death is, in fact, a birth into a new realm. It's a transition, a journey to a different environment, one where fear has no place. Now the question arises, who determines when it's time for this transition? In many instances, this decision is made before an individual embarks on their life journey. This explains why some lives are longer than others, irrespective of their circumstances. Take note, however, that there are exceptions. In the face of wars or accidents, lives may be cut short, but nature, in its infinite wisdom, balances things out. Those whose lives end prematurely return sooner, and often we witness a surge in births following a war. As a general rule, you spend about an equal amount of time on each side of this cycle. However, the specifics of reincarnation depend on the individual's evolution and the choices they make. Some are eager to return to life, reincarnating wherever they can, sometimes resulting in less than ideal situations. Others reincarnate into challenging circumstances as a consequence of their past actions or karma. Our bodies, these vehicles we inhabit, wear out in accordance with our lifestyle. The highly evolved can make their bodies last longer, but why cling to an aging model when a new, updated one awaits? As we move into a new era, a separation is happening. Those who seek spiritual growth are affected positively, while those engrossed in negativity face the opposite effect. This separation, akin to dividing the sheep from the goats, is a preparation for the future. The hope is to create a world where self-development and spiritual evolution are prioritized, accelerating the process that has been slow for years. In essence, the cycle of life and death is a natural process, a law of nature that ensures balance. Our physical bodies are but temporary vessels that we inhabit in our journey of evolution. Death, therefore, is not to be feared but seen as a transition, a birth into a new realm. Reincarnation serves as a balancing force, allowing those who depart prematurely to return sooner, and ensuring that our time spent on each side of the cycle is approximately equal. It's influenced by our personal evolution and the choices we make, and it provides the opportunity to inhabit new, updated models of bodies as we progress. Remember, as we move forward into a new era, the separation of positive and negative becomes more evident. It's a time of preparation, a time to strive for self-development and accelerated spiritual evolution. It's a time to embrace the cycle of life and death, and to understand that our physical bodies are merely vehicles in this journey. And so we see that the fear of death, the fear of losing our physical bodies, is unfounded. For in death we find rebirth, and in rebirth we find the continuation of our journey. What if the future of mankind and the planet Earth was not a dystopian, post-apocalyptic landscape, but a new heaven and a new Earth? A place where man is not the same as we know him today, but a being of much higher intelligence, with a more refined physical body structure and fully active senses. Welcome to a transformative journey through mankind's evolution and spiritual awakening. Once upon a time, planet Earth was in dire need of light. It was foretold that a great period of darkness would pass before the full impact of this light would be felt. But the dawn was near, when this brilliant light would permeate the earth, giving birth to a new heaven and a new earth. Man, as we know him, was set to be reborn. More than a third of his senses inactive, over 90% of his brain dormant. He was yet to discover his true potential. But as the human consciousness expanded, so did the ability to use these dormant faculties. The call was clear. Reach out, ever outward, for new and higher understanding. Throughout history, great teachers have graced our planet, striving to awaken humanity to new truths. Yet, they were misunderstood, worshipped as gods by believers, and shunned by disbelievers. However, these teachers never claimed to perform miracles. They sought to show humanity that these powers lay within each individual, waiting to be awakened. But the path to knowledge was a journey of hard and diligent searching, a pursuit of understanding. One such teacher said, "Where two or more are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of you." To many, these words may seem empty. Yet, the reality is that these teachers have always been among us, working in ways beyond our current comprehension. The time has come to open our eyes, gaze into the heavens, and search for the truth that lies there. Each of us has full access to all knowledge. The key to unlocking this knowledge doesn't lie in external sources, but within us. By tapping into the universal wisdom or mind, we can access the storehouse of all that is, all that ever was or ever will be. For nothing is new. It is all there, waiting to be discovered. We are indeed true children of creation. We are creators in our own right. The future of mankind and the planet Earth isn't a foregone conclusion. It's a story yet to be written, a story we have the power to shape. So let's claim what is rightfully ours. This journey of mankind's evolution and spiritual awakening isn't a simple tale. It's a call to action, a call for transformation, a message of hope. In this new heaven and new earth, we aren't just observers. We are active participants, creators of our own fate. Remember, the light is within us, awaiting to illuminate the world. All we need to do is reach out, ever outward, for new and higher understanding.
We are aware that there are disappointments you feel. We can only tell you that there is no need ever to feel disappointment in yourselves. You must have heard us say many times that there is no time but the present. Regret has to do only with the past. We are not saying that it is not your business to live as correctly as you know how, but the time to live correctly is the present moment. A mistake made or a misstep or a simple misunderstanding later corrected is simply a corrected error. What matters is not that you have made the error, but that you have become aware of it and corrected it. The present. with the awareness that you have known is all that you need to consider. Waste no more time on what is gone forever than you need to learn from it. Then carry on with the life that you are living now. For, my friends, there is a great deal of each present moment that most of those upon your planet miss completely. The ability to live with complete awareness of the creation of the Father about you and the possibilities of that creation within you is most rare and most valuable. There is no necessity to establish within one's thinking an appreciation of self, for this presupposes that it is possible to separate self from the entire creation. If one appreciates any part of the creation, then one appreciates self, for they are one and the same thing. The elimination of the concept of self is an important one in your spiritual seeking. It is necessary only to appreciate the Creator and His product, the creation. In appreciating any part of the creation, one must appreciate all parts, for they are inseparable. It is therefore important to act in unison with the creation rather than out of harmony due to a lack of confidence in a state of oneness. It is possible to achieve this understanding of oneness with all by availing yourself of this knowledge and understanding through the process of daily meditation.
Have you ever stopped to wonder what is the essence of thought? Have you ever pondered on the concept of original thought? Where do our thoughts originate from and what makes them unique or common? But before we delve deeper into this labyrinth of thoughts, take a moment to consider this. What if you are not just a physical entity in a material universe, but an embodiment of thought itself? What if you are dancing in a cosmic ballroom where there is no material, but only thoughts? Imagine for a moment your body, your mind, and your spirit moving in somewhat eccentric patterns, like a dancer on the cosmic stage. Why? Because you have not completely grasped the concept that you are part of the original thought. So, what is this original thought? It's a concept that transcends the limitations of time, space, and physicality. It's the idea that all things are one, that there is no right or wrong, no disharmony, but only identity. It's the notion that all of existence, all of life, all of creation is part of one original thought. This concept can be likened to the law of one, which states that all things are one and that one is love, light, love, the infinite creator. This law suggests that all things, all life, all of creation is one original thought. It's a profound statement, one that has been echoed by the Confederation of Planets in the service of the infinite creator, which also maintains that all of creation is part of one original thought. In essence, the concept of original thought challenges our traditional understanding of the universe and our place within it. It encourages us to view ourselves not just as physical beings in a tangible world, but as thoughts dancing in a cosmic ballroom. It propels us to see beyond the material, beyond the tangible, and to consider the possibility that we are part of a grand cosmic thought. To summarize, today we have explored the concept of original thought and how it suggests that all things, all life, all of creation is part of one original thought. We have considered the possibility that we are not just physical beings, but thoughts dancing in a cosmic ballroom. We have pondered on the law of one and how it aligns with the concept of original thought. As you go about your day, remember, you are more than a material entity. You are part of a thought. You are part of the original thought. And in every thought you think lies the potential for creation, for love, and for service freely given. So, Continue to dance, my friends, for you are part of the cosmic ballet of thoughts.
So, beyond the limitations of language, the boundaries of conceptual understanding, and the specifications of any physics, the law of one is a term that points to the ultimate reality of our universe and its processes, the single governing law of the infinite universe. It may be approximated by stating that in all the seeming endless multiplicity or manyness, in truth, all things are one. Whether a star or a microbe, a tree, animal, or mineral, planet, or human being, all are only one being. In all the infinite universe, that one being, the Creator, experiences itself in infinite forms, infinite entities, infinite situations, all of equal sacred value, but remain ever one. And you are that. You are everything, every being, every emotion, every event, every situation. You are unity. You are infinity. You are love, light, light, love. You are. This is the law of one. light. Now therefore, whoso becometh a member of my kingdom shall practice light. But whoso practiceth darkness will depart away from my kingdom of his own accord. Philosophy. This evening, I would like to speak to you on the subject of light. We have spoken recently to you many times on the concept of love and what this word really means. Tonight, however, I would like to speak to you on the subject of light. We greet you each evening as we speak through this instrument in the love and in the light of our infinite Creator. These are the ingredients that comprise all of the creation. All of the creation, my friends, is composed of love and light. We use these two words because they are the words that are closest in definition in your language to the concepts that we wish to communicate. However, they are, unfortunately, extremely lacking in depth of definition. I will attempt this evening to clarify to some extent the meaning of both of these words. Love is light. As I have stated recently, love is the force that creates. Light is what it creates. My friends, the Creator is love. You are love. You are a part of the Creator. Therefore, you are love, but your love is expressed through the manifestation of light. Light is the substance out of which the creation is formed. The Creator's love causes vibrations. This is what is meant when the term vibration is used. It is a condition of love. These vibrations are the building energies that compose all of the creation in its entire infinite and boundless sense. These vibrations produce a manifestation that you have come to know as the visible creation. The visible creation and many, many invisible creations are invisible to you at this time. However, they are not inaccessible. The vibrations produce the basic particle that you understand as the particle of light. This particle is associated with these vibrations, and therefore it manifests as a function of the rate of these vibrations and produces the creation. The creation in which you and all of your fellow beings experience that which you desire. So I send to you my love and my light, and extend to you our warmest welcome. Join us, my friends. Join us in light. It is all about you. There is much light in this creation. We are here to lead you into this light. We know that it is what you desire, for this you have expressed. For you see, the movement towards the heart chakra, the development of that unconditional, unbreaking love is the journey towards the realization of unity and of oneness. It is inherently challenging to be part of the Creator that you call your identity, that you call ego, that which separates by choice, so that Creator may learn more about creation. We wish to tell you that though Your experience is not too uncommon of an experience. We do emphasize with the experience itself, and we do so joyfully, we might add, for it is a most potent catalyst for you to experience. We are joyous because the realization that is on the other side is fully encapsulating, is ringing with the music of creation, that movement of flow of love and of energy throughout everything all at once. If you could imagine, we hear of your struggling and we smile, for it is one of the greatest lessons you are learning here at this time. That to let go of this sense of self, lovingly, we might add, opens the self up to the greater truth of this united experiential reality. We understand that the illusion is so created to, we shall say, trick or condition you into believing that there is a self that is separate from another self, that the identity you hold so dearly, that you've put energy and time into cultivating, and we would speak to that and say that that is honorable investment of energy as well, for that too is experience that the Creator can draw upon to know itself. There is no waste of time or space or vibration in any of that. Over time, you have developed a sense of who you are on a global level, if you will, on a very minute stage in the reality of everything. And that development has gifted all of creation in ways and means undefinable. And we understand your desire to move towards that oneness. And that it can be difficult to reconcile to the separate self and the desire to open the heart towards the true unity, the unconditional love that flows through all. And we would suggest that you see that struggle and that experience with that open heart that you desire to fully embody. Embracing the challenge and knowing that it is a beautiful, perfect challenge. It is a gift and a blessing to be tested, if you will, in such a way to look upon creation and see it as one, as part of self. I am that, and that is me. This intention that you have set forth is perhaps the greatest leap forward on this journey of this incarnation of which you speak. And many on this planet are finding themselves embarking upon that same journey. And there is a bit of a pun in that description, for to find oneself, one must find the capital one self, the one self that is all that there is. And so, my sisters and brothers, we would humbly suggest that this experience, though challenging and perhaps frustrating and uncomfortable, is a most noble one, and that the gift of this challenge is already taking root, already presenting you with a bounty upon which to cultivate this path forward. That you are asking these questions is a highlight of that. And you will find that many across this planet are asking the same questions, seeking to find the unity, seeking to let the identity fall away, hoping to discover that path where brother and sister may hold hands in the realization that they are one. Another in this unending, infinite spiral of energy.
Imagine a single drop in the ocean. Is it separate from the ocean or part of it? Now consider this. What if the ocean is within that single drop as well? This paradoxical concept of the one and the many forms the crux of our journey today. Think of the one as the source, the original being, the essential truth that exists in all of us. It moves within us, shaping our thoughts, our actions, and our very existence. Yet this one expresses itself in countless ways, in infinite variations. Just like a painter uses the same set of colors to create countless masterpieces, the one uses the same elements of creation to express itself in myriad forms. Consider the world around you, the flowers, the trees, the birds, the insects. All of them are expressions of the one, the creator. They are unique, yet they all come from the same source. They are the many voices of the one. These voices may seem different, like accents or dialects of the same language. But if you listen closely, if you look beyond the superficial, you will hear the one speaking through all of them. This journey of understanding is not solitary. There are many travelers, each exploring different paths, each seeing different sights along the way. Each brings back tales of their unique experiences, their unique visions of the one. And in sharing these visions, they add to the richness of the tapestry woven by the one. This journey is not without responsibility. As seekers, the responsibility of discerning the truth falls upon us. The purity of our hearts and the focus of our minds shape what we find. In the grand scheme of creation, there is a progression from the basic elements, earth, wind, fire, and water. These elements combine to form matter, and this matter is quickened with the awareness of the one. Life as we know it emerges from this process. This life, in turn, becomes aware of itself and seeks to join others in a social order, leading to a complex entity with an expanded awareness. To summarize, the concept of the one and the many is a paradoxical truth. The one, the source, expresses itself in infinite variations, creating a world of diversity. Yet despite this diversity, every creation is an expression of the one. The many voices we hear in the world are all echoes of the one. As seekers, our responsibility is to discern this truth and seek the heart of the one in all. So, Whether you look within yourself or at the world around you, remember, you're looking at the One. The One is in all, and all is in the One. The journey of understanding this truth is the journey of life itself.
I'll try to use your words, so please hear me out. Step number 1. Question yourself as follows. Situation. I am the Christ. Further situation. This circumstance occurs. Question. What shall I do for my people? There will be no hedging in your identification with the one whom you call Jesus. A carpenter known to his fellow men as Emmanuel. You too are a carpenter. You have Christ consciousness. You are Christ. What will you do? In 70 years the gospel will be written. What shall be your sayings? What legacy leave you? There are times to remove your being from this illusion. However, the moment of contact with any spiritual being is your moment of Christhood. Who are you? You are Christ. Speak, therefore, in parables if so the need is, but speak as Christ. For this is the beginning, the entryway, the gate into your being, and only in process, only as you kneel to wash the feet of your fellow beings, only as you humble yourself in servitude to all of those who are the extensions of the Father, will you begin to receive yourself unto yourself? In your identity lies your question. We, your brothers and sisters, promise you no answers, but promise that you can learn to live the question until there is no answer necessary. Growth is not what it seems, my friends. Seek ye, therefore, not with the mind, not with the predisposition, not with the suspicion half formed of what to expect, for we shall attempt to aid you in the exploration of that which is unexplored. Flexibility, therefore, is your ally. I will leave this instrument at this time that my sister may speak through another instrument. I leave you in the love and the light of the Christ consciousness, which is the manifestation of the Father, the creation, and love itself. I am known to you as Hayden. Do not call me master. I am your brother and your sister. I am the Christ, and I speak to myself. Adonai.
Have you ever pondered the nature of reality and existence? What if the answers to these profound questions are not as complex as we might think? Welcome to a journey into the depths of a concept known as intelligent infinity. Picture a vast, limitless expanse. It's not confined by space or time. It doesn't have a beginning or an end. It's undifferentiated, unpolarized, complete and whole. This is the essence of intelligent infinity, the macrocosm of the mystery-clad being. It's a concept that defies physics, transcends conceptualization, and can only be activated or potentiated due to the catalyst of free will. But what does this mean? It's the idea that all things are one, with no polarity, no right or wrong, no disharmony. It's the unity of love-light, light-love, the infinite creator. This intelligent infinity is the core of everything. It's the foundation of beingness itself. It's all that there is. Yet it's also an enigma. It's the mystery that begins and ends all understanding. It's the void, the emptiness, the nothingness that paradoxically contains everything that exists, everything that can be named and identified. It's where the part completely contains and is one with the whole. Consider this: any portion, no matter how of any density or illusory pattern, contains the one creator, which is infinity. This means that even in the smallest iota of complexity, the one infinite creator exists in its entirety. It's a concept that is both profound and incredibly simple. To sum it up, intelligent infinity is the undifferentiated, unpolarized, complete, and whole essence of everything activated by free will. It's the idea that all things are one, with no polarity, no right or wrong, no disharmony. It's the unity of love-light, light-love, the infinite creator. It's the mystery that begins and ends all understanding, the void that contains everything. It's where the part completely contains and is one with the whole. And it's the idea that even in the smallest iota of complexity, the one infinite creator exists in its entirety. In the words of the Tao Te Ching, the Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The unnameable is the eternally real. Naming is the origin of all particular things. This, my friends, is the essence of intelligent infinity.
Picture, if you will, a mountain stream gushing forth from a living spring, ever fresh, ever beautiful, moving and singing along its bed and refreshing all that lives therein. Such is the living wellspring of your spirits, my friends. Where can one go to find such a wellspring, such a fountainhead? Can one go into the city and find it there amidst the crowds and the cries of those who barter and sell, and the angers and disappointments of those who have come in second in a trade, and the vain glory and folly of those who believe they have won in the trade? It would take a special person to find sanctuary and nourishment in a city. Shall you then go to the country and live through the ancient cycles of time and space, watching the trees and the foliage, the flowers and the shrubs change their colors in the fall and become bleak and austere statues of dignity in your winter, only to bloom again with blossoms in springtime and open their faces to the sun in the spate of full summer? My friends, it may seem to be a far more desirable haunt, and yet the wellspring of spiritual life is not easily found from without, even under such beautiful circumstances. Can you go then into the ocean, away from all land, into the simplicity of waves and sky and stars? My friends, the difficulty with picturing a better and better and better environment is that into such an environment you bring yourself. The self that is you is always with you, and the wellspring and fountainhead of your spirit is within you. Therefore, into each environment, you project those opinions and biases, those pains and pleasures of your own experience that make you what you are. That which is outer cannot do the job of bringing to birth that within you, which is to come in your search for the truth. But where shall you go that your spirit may progress? If you are seeking to survive, my friends, find the correct environment. If you are seeking to grow, know that the only environment that matters is within you. You are the wellspring of your own evolution in spirit. You are the fountainhead of your birth into that new portion of yourself which you wish to be lifted up in love to the light that shines from the one great original thought. You do not carry this within you as if you were a basket and it the precious cargo. No, my friends, you are far more like the pipe through which is funneled the clear, precious water of the fountainhead, the wellspring of that clear mountain lake, full of living water. Things do not come from you as much as through you, for in whatever you may do, you are a channel. There is no situation in which you are not channeling and being used as an instrument either by yourself, by other entities, or by circumstances themselves. The great choice to make, then, in the desire to speed up the spiritual evolution, is the choice to allow that through you which you desire to be spent through you. And never, if possible, to accept circumstance or environment as a reason for ignoring the opportunity for finding love that may flow through you, that you may become a light to lighten the darkness of those about you who are seeking just such light.
Have you ever considered how you would react if a robber entered your room demanding your money? Would you panic, or would you remain calm and composed? As we delve into the story of Shachiri, a student, will discover an unusual response, one that might just challenge your perception of how to handle such situations. One evening, as Shachiri was deeply engrossed in reciting sutras, he found himself interrupted by a sudden and unwelcome visitor. A robber had stealthily entered his room, pressing a knife to his back. His demand was simple, yet threatening. Hand over the money. Unfazed, Shachiri pointed to a box in the room, continuing his recitation as if he was merely answering a benign query. As the robber was preparing to leave, Shachiri calmly requested him to leave some money behind for his taxes. Surprisingly, the robber complied, returning a part of the stolen money. Just as he was about to exit, Shachiri posed another request. "Don't you think someone who makes you a gift?" he asked. The robber paused, thanked Shachiri, and then went on his way. Days later, the law caught up with the robber, and during his confession, he admitted to robbing Shachiri. However, when the authorities approached Shachiri for his testimony, he refused to cooperate. "I made him a gift of some money," he said, "and he thanked me for it, that was all." The robber served his time in prison. Upon his release, he sought out Shachiri, asking him a simple yet profound question. "Will you be my teacher?" In this tale, we witness the power of composure, compassion, and wisdom. Shachiri's calm demeanor and unexpected generosity not only disarmed the robber, but also sparked a change within him. Instead of becoming a victim, Shachiri became a catalyst for transformation. The moral of this story is not about encouraging theft or being passive in the face of crime. It is instead a reminder of the potential for change that lies within every individual. It illustrates that sometimes an unexpected act of kindness can have a profound impact, even on those who seem beyond redemption. So the next time you find yourself in a challenging situation, remember Shachiri. Perhaps like him, you can find a way to turn a threat into an opportunity for transformation.
Where is there room for fear in a life lived in faith? And if there's no fear, then there is freedom. You see and deplore fear in others. Take it not upon yourselves. Limit not yourselves, but in true humanity, take upon yourselves the yoke of the one who serves, and serves in the name of the infinite Creator. No finite creator shall you serve, my friends, for why would you? You seek infinity, power, truth, and eternal peace. The peace of unity, and all those things are yours only as you manifest them, only as you believe them, thus manifesting to yourself, only as you open your eyes in faith, and thus shine not your light, but your greater self's light to others. Why should you accept human limitations and lack? You are channels for the infinite Creator, and infinite things are your birthright and ours.
You have correctly stated that love is the reason each entity within the third density has come here to discover within itself. For this is the density of choice, where you are able to take love and use it either in service to others or in the service to the self. This is the means by which the Creator may know itself more fully on each of these two paths, and know that this love does indeed exist within each portion of each moment.
For it is the love of the one infinite creator that has created all the one infinite creation out of that which you may call the light of love. These are your tools for moving through the third density in a manner which will allow you to utilize difficult catalysts that may bring you to your knees from time to time. And by the processing of this catalyst, find the love within the moment. For this is a great journey of third density. We say also that it is quite easy to misuse these tools. For within this third density illusion, you have the veil of forgetting. So many upon your planet are unaware that there is love in each moment. And for these entities, it is not a matter of discrimination, but of following the path of the mundane world, of seeking various benefits for the self, including gathering about one the money, the prestige, the family, the dwelling place, and so forth. That there are many, such as yourselves, who are consciously aware that this love has a purpose and is to be treasured, and is that which they wish to do. And yet, from time to time, engage in the manifesting of difficult or deceitful activities that may meet their choice of the moment, to be filled with some kind of anger or fear or doubt or deception that makes it impossible to exercise the muscle of love. And so it is for these entities who know there is a choice and who, from time to time, do not make it to the best of their ability, even in their own estimation, so that they fall short of the mark, shall we say, and must regroup and reactivate the quality of discernment, of the judgment of the moment that emanates from the heart of the self. It is fortunately, shall we say, the case that these failures may often give such an entity the opportunity and the desire to, shall we say, reform the expression of love through a greater dissemination and discrimination of this feeling to those about one, and perhaps even to the self, which is often the source and focus as well for these feelings of separation, non-acceptance, anger, and fear. It is necessary, therefore, for the conscious seeker of truth to focus first upon the love for the self, and by this course, we do not mean that selfish kind of love that does not feel love for others, but the kind of love that builds a foundation within the being that then may be shared with others in a more inspired and informed manner. This, we feel, is the proper use in many cases of discrimination, so that one may reflect within those moments of meditation and contemplation that which has flowed forth from one's being, from one's heart, from one's desire, and make, shall we say, an adjustment in the perception of love, of the self, of the Creator in all. My friends, many are the things which shall pass through your conscious minds in the infinite amount, what you call time, that exists for you as a conscious being. Many are the arenas you shall enter and leave. Many are the life experiences which shall store up for you 10 things which you have learned, which will help you become of greater service, and 10 million things which you have learned, which are of no use whatsoever once the incarnation has been processed. Welcome to the Law of One. Today's question: is it better, or shall I say, does it produce more usable results in meditation to leave the mind, shall I say, as blank as possible? Let it run down, so to speak. Or is it better to focus in meditation on some object or something for concentration? Each of the two types of meditation is useful for a particular reason. The passive meditation involving the clearing of the mind, the emptying of the mental jumble, which is characteristic of mind complex activity among your peoples, is efficacious for those whose goal is to achieve an inner silence as a base from which to listen to the Creator. This is a useful and helpful tool, and is by far the most generally useful type of meditation as opposed to contemplation or prayer. The type of meditation which may be called visualization has as its goal not that which is contained in the meditation itself. Visualization is the tool of the adept. Those who learn to hold visual images in mind are developing an inner concentrative power that can transcend boredom and discomfort. When this ability has become crystallized in an adept, The adept may then do polarizing in consciousness without external action, which can affect the planetary consciousness. This is the reason for existence of the so-called white magician. Only those wishing to pursue the conscious raising of planetary vibration will find visualization to be a particularly satisfying type of meditation. Contemplation. Contemplation, or the consideration in a meditative state of an inspiring image or text, is extremely useful also among your peoples, and the facility of will called praying is also of a potentially helpful nature. Whether it is indeed an helpful activity depends quite totally upon the intentions and objects of the one who prays.
I am Haton, and I greet you, my brothers and sisters, in the love and the light of the infinite Creator. My friends, we are grateful for the opportunity to join with you in your meditation, and we thank you for requesting our presence, for it is our desire to be of service, yet our service is contingent upon your request, for we have no wish to press upon you our vibration or services if they are not desired. My friends, we have Haton are that which is referred to as a social memory complex, which might be interpreted as a unified mind consisting of the total population of our world, directed toward the service of the Creator by following the path of serving others. At this time, brothers and sisters of the entity Lighters desire to pass among you and share their vibrations with those of you who request this service. If you desire that this service be extended to you, we ask that you mentally request the presence and vibration of our brothers and sisters of Lighters, for us with ourselves. It is not their desire to infringe upon your free will. At this time, we shall pause that this opportunity might be made available. I am Haton.
I am Lighters. I am now with this instrument. We would like, my brothers and sisters, to greet you in the love and light of the one infinite Creator. We are very pleased to be called among your group to share our conditioning vibration with you. This vibration, my friends, will help if you wish to deepen your meditation to possibly tune the group into a more of a oneness. All that is necessary to receive this conditioning love is to request it. Again, we wish to thank you for this opportunity to be of service to you. I am Lighters.
I am Hayden, and I am once again with this instrument. My friends, you exist within a world of illusion, a school in which there are many lessons to be learned, often requiring the individual entity many lifetimes in which to accomplish this task. This is as it should be, for it is the desire of the Creator that each of his children experience the totality, the fullness of creation. You currently exist within that which is described as the third density, and are for the most part occupying the middle ground between two selections of polarization, that of service to self and that of service to others. Although we of the Confederation are dedicated toward the service to others and have followed that path, we would emphasize that both paths lead to the Creator, for in serving oneself, one also serves a facet of the totality, and therefore serves the Creator. This is in accordance with the will of the Creator, and is greatly misunderstood upon your planet. We do not wish to infringe upon your right to select your personal path or polarity, as it is commonly termed, for this is your right and yours alone. However, we would strongly encourage those of your planet to endeavor intensely in the direction of either polarity, for the refusal to select a path during this lifetime will result in another lifetime and another and yet another until the individual entity has selected his or her own path of service and dedicated themselves sufficiently towards its pursuit. Because we of Haton have elected to follow the path of service to others, we offer our services to those of your planet, assistance in the forms which we are able to provide. We are unable, due to our desire to avoid infringing upon one's free will, to prove physically our existence to any or all comers, for, my friends, would not this bear heavily on your decision of which path to follow? For this same reason, my friends, we are quite reticent in the discussion of specific information specific information concerning your planet's future due to the fact that such information, if proven true, would weigh heavily in your willingness to believe or disbelieve in our existence or assistance. We of Haton are able to advise and extend our own vibration to any individual or group that should request this assistance. And, my friends, please believe that we are literally at your beck and call to accomplish service of this nature. Therefore, if at any time you should desire our presence, if at any time you wish to be made aware of our advice, to receive our comfort, you need only ask, my friends, but be aware that it is not ours to make decisions that are yours to make.
Photographs from the original Law of One books. When Don, Carla, and I were having these sessions with Ra back in the early 80s, we knew that we were living the best days of our lives. We knew that this work was the primary reason that we were on this earth. We could hardly believe our good luck to be involved with extraterrestrial entities who spoke so eloquently, so precisely, and so profoundly about the nature of creation, how we all evolve through it, the meaning of life, and how love, light, and unity are the basic building blocks of all things. Quite simply, Ra spoke the language of our hearts and our souls, and we vibrated in harmony with everything that they had to say. Over the years, we have found that there is a small community of seekers of truth who also have this powerful sympathetic vibration with Ra's information. If you are one of these people, welcome to our family. Even if we never meet, it's good to know that you are here. In our shared service to the one infinite creator, we are always together, no matter what the appearance of our physical realities may seem to be. So we send our love and light to you and ask that you share your love and light with everyone that you meet in all present and future life experiences. Ra Session Number 2, January 20, 1981. Place at the entity's head a virgin chalice of water. Place to the center the book most closely aligned with the instrument's mental distortions, which are allied most closely with the Law of One. That being the Bible that she touches most frequently. To the other side of the Bible, place a small amount of sense, or incense, in a virgin censer. To the rear of the book symbolizing one, open to the Gospel of John, chapter 1, place a white candle. Jim and Carla prepare for the meditation that always precedes a Ra session. Carla. Photo taken after Ra Session Number 92, July 8, 1982. We hook up 3 tape recorder microphones just below her chin so that we don't miss any of the sessions. If tape recorder 1 or 2 malfunctions, which has happened. The proper alignment is with the head pointed 20 degrees north by northeast. This is the direction from which the newer or new age distortions of love, light, which are less distorted, are emanating, and this instrument will find comfort therein. The instrument would be strengthened by the wearing of a white robe. The instrument shall be covered and prone, the eyes covered. We averaged about 1 session every week or 10 days now, which allows us to prepare for each session with a greater degree of care that seems to be required as sessions accumulate. A great deal of thought goes into the questions which Don asks during each session. Each of us contributes ideas.
but the great bulk of the line of questioning is accomplished by Don, who is the questioner, since he has years of experience in investigating the UFO contactee phenomenon necessary to develop the intellectual foundation which is required in any attempt to fit the diverse pieces of this puzzle together. Don lights the candle and incense. He and I walk the circle of one around Carla and repeat the words which begin each contact. At some point after that, Carla departs her physical body, and Ra then uses it to make the words which form the responses to Don's questions. I meditate and send light to Carla for the duration of the session, only taking time out to flip the tapes over as they finish each side. In this picture, Carla is not channeling Ra, but is singing Amazing Grace, as per Ra's instructions for the instrument to be constantly speaking if her eyes are covered during the picture-taking session. This picture was taken immediately after Carla responded to her name and the eye covering was removed from her face, somewhat musing her hair.
Carla, her glow subdued by significant fatigue, sits beside the driveway of our house with our flower garden and kitchen windows behind her. Don in the LL research office at the Watterson Trail House. Joey Wackerbath sits on his desk, while Chocolate Bar rests in the foreground. Gandalf and Fairchild are elsewhere. Jim at work in the office with Chocolate Bar in the foreground and Joey Wackerbath in the background. Carla dances in the leaves while Jim sits on the porch of our Lake Lanier house where we had session number 106. Our last conversation with Ra. Carla, near her 84 pounds. Channeling wait for the Ra contact. Handing Jim a bouquet of marigolds as they enjoy the afternoon in the little orchard behind the Watterson Trail House.
Greetings, beloved ones, in the love and in the light of our one infinite Creator. I'm asking you to remember that you are love. You are created from the love of our infinite Father. All are the same. There is no difference. All are children of the one God, created perfect, in love, in peace, in harmony. I'm asking you to look at each other, to look at those you meet as perfect. I'm sure you realize you do not do this as often as you should. This should be your nature, to love, reflect your perfection, reflect your Creator. If this were done, many wonderful things would come to all. A feeling of joy, of peace, of contentment, such as you have not known for a long, long time, a very long time. All things are good. All things are perfect. Get yourself out of the way. Let your Creator express through you. This is your objective. Let your Creator express through you. For man in his true form is a spiritual being, containing all the knowledge and wisdom of the universe buried within himself. Not the physical self as you see it here, but the spiritual self and man's whole purpose of being.
We of the Confederation have sought through our meditation, through our service to mankind, to fulfill a long goal which we had set for ourselves eons of time ago. That is to know and understand the Creator and the creation. It seems but yesterday that we began, and it seems that we will never end in our quest for this knowledge. Yet each step of the way we find relief. We find happiness in knowing that our understanding has grown and knowing that our love has been multiplied. We of the Confederation share with you, above all things, our love. But there are those among your planet who will not accept our words of intellectual understanding. Yet we are free to send them our love and our assistance, for as they would call upon their Creator, whatever that belief may be, they call upon us, for we have realized that we are also a portion, not only of the creation, but of the Creator. When one calls, whomsoever may hear that call should serve the one in need to the best of their ability, using the best of their discretion. We of the Confederation, we wish you to understand that the day will come when you must be willing to freely offer your assistance in a much more demanding way than you do now. And in order to do this properly, you must prepare yourselves by becoming the being that you desire to be. One of knowledge and wisdom, love and understanding, one of strength and integrity. All of you have desired this, and in some ways you have gained portions of your goal. Yet we and all of you must understand that there is never time, as you would call it, for you to neglect the attainment of goals you have set for yourselves. For man upon earth lives within an atmosphere or in an environment which is attuned to the premise of time. Your physical bodies are sustained for only a short period. Therefore, when you neglect the seeking and the fulfillment of your chosen mission and goal, you neglect the entire essence of the short span you live upon planet Earth. You live not for frivolity or enjoyment. You live for love and enlightenment, for the fulfillment of your role in the creation of a perfect universe. If your actions are attuned to the consciousness of the Creator, your life shall experience no difficulty, not in essence. It may appear that you do indeed have difficulties, but they are lessons. Some are difficult, others are not. Be not discouraged by your own lack of disciplines. Be not haughty about your achievements, for you are as others, all others within this universe. You are a creator. You are a part and a particle of an undividable, growing in consciousness universe. We of the Confederation share these thoughts with you and commend you for what you have achieved. We also wish to somewhat warn you that you must realize that your journey has only begun. Be more determined. Allow yourself not to falter, and be not discouraged with yourself when you do. Therefore, with our hearts attuned with you and all our love with you, we leave you in the love that is only that of the Creator. Adonai Vasu Barakas. There are a few things I would like to tell you this evening, and after that I should request that we have our meditation period. You, my brothers and sisters, are to be an instrument. You are to play a very important part in the plan. It is your choice and not anyone else's. You, as the others, have been conditioned, and you are developing also into the type of instrument you are. This type of instrument I'm going to call the introductory instrument. That is an interesting name. It is exactly what you are to be. You are to introduce our work to your fellow people. This is your work for the service. You will be impressed and informed and directed in your work. Your type of instrument is an amazing type of instrument. While you are talking, you will be receiving impressions. They will come to you at the right time. You will relay them to whomever you are talking to. This is an important job because you are going to bring the people into the service. Greetings. I am a brother working within this area. I have not spoken to any of you before, but I am particularly interested in this group. I am speaking by special permission through this instrument. As you are aware, there are many working in this area, in the physical, walking your streets and rubbing elbows with your people. Several of you here I have been close to several times. This you are not aware of. But this is not important. We have come here on a mission, and our mission is to help you of Earth to help yourself. Those of you here have gone through a short period of training, an attempt to help you in reaching for truth. Also to help you to know and understand yourself, for this, my friends, is the thing that you must know before you can reach heights of any degree of understanding. You are beginning to get a slight understanding of the powers that are contained within you. But believe me, my friends, it is only the beginning, for locked within each of you are powers of which you have not dreamed. The power of mind, the power of thought. None of you here have so much as scratched the surface. In the new age, when your awareness is more complete, you will know, understand, and be able to use these powers to much greater extent. And to the good of all mankind. In order to retain these powers indefinitely, they must be used for good. For the good of all mankind. Blessings, my sisters and brothers. Praise be our one infinite creator. We thank you, one infinite creator, for your love. We thank you, one infinite creator, for your light. All is one.
Have you ever pondered the profound question, what is the essence of service? And what does service mean in relation to our spiritual journey? Today, we delve into the fascinating exploration of spirituality, morality, and the nature of service. As a spiritual seeker, you might find yourself wrestling with the dualities of existence. You are flesh, yet you are also spirit. This seeming paradox may feel baffling, But could it be that this very incarnation is the divine stage for you to realize that there is no dichotomy between your physical and spiritual existence? As you navigate the labyrinth of spiritual seeking, you may notice your self-awareness blossoming, like a lotus emerging from the murky depths. You feel the empowering surge of being yourself, of offering solace, love, support, and sustenance. Along this journey, you encounter various choice points. Each decision you make is guided by your desires and will. Let's consider this. If you yearn for consolation, what ripple effects does that choice create? Drawing from the wisdom of St. Francis of Assisi, if your heart seeks love, what consequences does that choice bear? These questions lie at the heart of spiritual exploration. Perhaps the prayer of St. Francis can shed light on this path. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where...
O Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. This opening line is a plea to a higher power, an open request for transformation. It's not just about becoming a person of peace, but an instrument, a tool in the hands of the divine. It's a call for purpose, for a life that contributes to peace rather than detracts from it. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. This segment invites us to be active agents of change, to spread love in places consumed by hatred. It's a challenge to each of us to replace hostility with kindness, to respond to hatred not with more of the same but with love. Where there is injury, pardon. Here the prayer encourages empathy and forgiveness. It's an invitation to heal, not only physical wounds but also the deeper unseen injuries of the heart and soul. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. These lines emphasize the power of positive transformation. They urge us to replace doubt with faith, despair with hope, darkness with light, and sadness with joy. It's about having the courage to bring about change, even in the face of overwhelming odds. O Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. This plea for humility and empathy is a call to prioritize the needs of others before our own. It's a reminder that true fulfillment comes not from receiving, but from giving. For it is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. These final lines encapsulate the paradoxical nature of life. They suggest that by giving we receive, by pardoning we are pardoned, and by dying we attain eternal life. It's a profound contemplation on the interconnectedness of all things, on the ebb and flow of life and death, of love and forgiveness. In summary, this prayer is a guide to living a life of peace, love, and understanding. It exhorts us to become instruments of peace, to sow love where there is hatred, to pardon where there is injury, to replace doubt with faith, despair with hope, darkness with light, and sadness with joy. It encourages us to give rather than receive, to understand rather than be understood, and to love rather than be loved. And it reminds us that in giving we receive, in pardoning we are pardoned, and in dying we are born to eternal life. In essence, it's a call to live our lives in a way that brings about peace, both within ourselves and in the world around us.
Question for Quo. We get so much negative energy from the news that comes in, and that lowers our vibrational levels. Should we limit news that comes into just our sphere of influence? Or can we give a blessing prior to reading the news that would neutralize any lowering of our vibrational level? It's my sense, quo, that negative energy is detrimental to our health, and I'm encouraging my patients to avoid that negative energy. Do you have thoughts or recommendations in that regard?
I am Quo, and I'm aware of your query, my brother. This is a very interesting query, for it also partakes of a kind of medicine that you might call negativity in the news that one may process as one wishes. The news is that which is utilizing the old saying of, if it bleeds, it leads. So that there is usually more bad news or negative news than good news. And when one exposes oneself to any type of negative news, there is the opportunity to go in one of two directions, or both directions from time to time. The first direction is to tend to put aside that news because it is so overwhelmingly difficult and devastating in one manner or another. The taking of lives, the loss of lives, and by many or few that occurs daily in every area upon your planet, whether it is family, community, states, nation, or whatever. And this is what you were speaking of. This is what can drain one's ability to feel inspired to be alive within this third density at this time, and might cause one to feel that bleed through stress that comes by imbibing and absorbing the negative qualities of the inhumanity of man to man, people to people, nation to nation. The other possibility is that one may seek an enhancement on the spiritual journey by responding to the negatively oriented information by setting oneself the goals of engaging in the practice of sending love and light and healing energies to any source of difficulty of negativity upon your planet that is being reported on the news. This is an advanced practice of spiritual seeking which is most helpful to the conscientious seeker that wishes to take, shall we say, a heavier load of classes in the college system of study, as you might say. This is what you may call the advanced class, and is perfectly a choice of free will for any who wishes to undertake it, realizing the difficulties of doing so, but if taking on these difficulties is desired, then the polarization to the positive service to others is also enhanced.
Blessings, my sisters and brothers. It's a pleasure to speak with you once again. I wish to cover a subject that I believe is within the hearts of all who come across this material. Something close, something to be understood about the wanderer, also known to some as an apple.
We are the silence, and it's on the inside. I know time flies, so I'll tell you, you've become my closest friend.
I am pleased to introduce you to George Hunt Williamson, an anthropologist of considerable reputation. He began reporting UFO contact in the early 1950s. George published several books about his contactee experiences, none of which were seriously given credence or consideration by his peers. Typical. The books contain much that some still consider untrue. The UFO nuts had told Williamson that the sun was not a hot, flaming body, but a cool body, and that we had two moons. Imagine that. One a dark moon which was unseen. George was told, moreover, that the moon we already know about had an atmosphere and water. Obviously, none of these statements made sense.
But let us back up a bit and look at these statements again, considering not our third density alone, but also those densities which interpenetrate ours. Since most of the UFO knots are in a reality displaced from ours, it is quite possible that they are experiencing these described conditions. In fact, if the Williamson book, The Saucers Speak, is read keeping the physical and mental variants of these displaced realities in mind, the material makes quite a bit of sense. In The Saucers Speak, Williamson quotes the UFO sources as saying, "To apples we salt, we return." No explanation is given of it here, but in later work, Other Tongues, Other Flesh, George interprets the statement as a promise made to a certain type of individual on Earth. It seems that though the history of Earth, people have been born into our planetary vibration who are not Earth natives, that is, have not incarnated into the physical from Earth's spiritual densities, but from elsewhere. They are true extraterrestrials in that their previous experience is of places elsewhere in the universe. They are true Earth natives in that they have gone through the process of birth, entering first the spiritual realms of Earth, and from there incarnating into our physical plane just as any Earth entity would do. During the birth process, the apple usually loses the memory of his/her extraterrestrial past. She is truly of this planet as he enters its physical plane. An apple's purpose in coming to Earth is twofold. First, she hopes to advance their own vibration or thinking by experiencing the strong catalyst of our physical world. It is a sort of trial by fire approach, the chance to advance more rapidly than is possible in other vibrations. The apple hopes that he or she will be able to reawaken the dormant memory of why he or she came to Earth, and so be able to carry out their mission of service to Earthmen by helping to increase their awareness of universal reality. It is not a foregone conclusion that the apple will remember who he or she is and what his or her mission is, but most wanderers have at least a strongly developed tendency towards meditation and contemplation. So that gradually many are indeed able to recapture at least a portion of that memory. There were several statements made in The Saucers Speak that are significant in connection with these wanderers or apples. Seeds may be planted, but they can root and never reach maturity. This means that the people of our outer space knew what was going to develop on Earth. They planted, salted them away like apples. But every seed that is planted or salted away does not grow and reach maturity. It may not root in the ground because of many conditions. Therefore, some of the wanderers now on Earth do not know who they are.
They planted some of their own people here, salted them away like apples. But every seed that is planted or salted away does not grow and reach maturity. It may rot in the ground because of many conditions. Therefore, some of the wanderers now on earth do not know who they are. They are lost in the ways of the earth, and upon physical death may return to their own worlds, or they may be stuck within the karmic pattern they have created within this density. Please don't worry, they will be none the worse for their experience, except that their mission will not be accomplished. Space intelligences knew that a certain percentage of the apples would fall by the way. Therefore, enough of them incarnated into Earth bodies to make up for this inevitable deficiency. You have people who have come from other planets who know no such thing as